Alright, so today we're going to be talking about the future. And when I mean I'm talking about the future, I'm talking about since Dehya and Cyno's banner are going to be wrapping up very soon, we are going to be seeing Ayaka and Shenhe as a rerun. And these are two very popular characters that a lot of people are talking about. They want their weapon. It comes with a lot of good things when it comes to, how much you have of choices to summon on, the weapons, the Mist Splitter, and the Calamity Queller with Ayaka and Shenhe. But of course, there is the dreading problem of what's next. This is a problem that a lot of free-to-play and a lot of low spenders have to deal with when rationing their primo gems and how much they can spend on each banner to make sure that they get the character that they want. And today we're going to be talking about, although very early, it is something to note of because yes, you still need time to prepare and it's all subject to change. Of course, I'm not going to say something for 100% fact because it's all speculation, but looking at the time they've been gone, looking at what is around that, time period for the event and all that, we can kind of dumb down what is going to happen, most likely, not 100% for fact. But before we get into that, make sure to leave a sub and a like on the channel if you're enjoying the content. But let's go right back into the video and talking about what characters could rerun very soon, and of course their weapon as well. So like I said, Cyno and Dehya's banner is going to be leaving, with Dehya going back into the standard banner in 3.6. And then Cyno is Cyno. Not a lot of people, I guess you could say, summoned for him as much. I think the majority of people that were waiting for Cyno or want Cyno have already gotten him on his first release. So a lot of people are summoning on his rerun at the current moment. His weapon is pretty good. Dehya's weapon is going to be lost in the void for right now, just like the Hunter's Path for Tighnari. We don't know where these weapons are going to be going in the future, just because we don't know where they're going to pop up. A lot of the characters that have been coming out, or a lot of the banners that have been coming out, premiere a two-part or a two-weapon signature set banner. So one character has their signature weapon and the other has theirs, and they put on the same banner. But for Dehya and Tighnari, since they're in the standard banner, we aren't going to be seeing them specialized or have a promotional banner again, most likely. So we don't know when the Hunter's Path or the Beacon of the Reed Sea are going to come back. So that is something to notice and something to take note of. But after Dehya and Cyno leave, we have Ayaka and Shenhe. Ayaka bringing the Mist Splitter and the Calamity Queller coming with Shenhe. These are both very strong units, Ayaka being the tier 0 DPS that she is. The only thing with Ayaka is that she has the potential to be power crept or basically pushed aside, just because she is a DPS and the main point of this game is supports, in all honesty. But she does so much damage. She's able to do easy self-infusion, and I have videos talking about her and Shenhe, of course, so if you haven't watched those already, make sure to go watch those. But Ayaka, I see her being strong for, as long as Genshin stays, if there isn't anything crazy that Genshin adds. And then Shenhe, I think she's a timeless unit. I think she's a really good investment, just because no matter what, you will be buffing cryo to a really high amount. And with Shenhe, her being a support slash buffer, she's always going to be on the cryo team most likely, unless they come out with some insane cryo support, which then you can still put Shenhe on there. And the team, she's always going to have a spot on the team most likely, so she is a really good investment now. But talking about characters that could come out after Shenhe and Ayaka, because this is something important for, like I said, free-to-play players or low spenders, because there are a lot of heavy hitters that haven't been back in this game for a while. And let's go ahead and start listing some of them. One of the most important ones for sure is going to be our Archon Nahida, and Nahida is most likely going to be coming back in 3.6, only because there's the rule for 4 patches in an Archon reruns. This rule has stayed true for Venti, Zhongli, Raiden, and I'm assuming that Nahida will still stay the same. So it's a very high chance that we see Nahida take up one of the banner spots for 3.6 alongside Baizhu, of course. So we have 2 banners left over. Now there is a big set of what ifs, because we still have Eula missing. There's other characters like Klee that haven't been back in a long time. Zhongli hasn't been back in a long time. All of these characters, they haven't been here in a while, but we have to remember there is a theme with the majority of these banners. And I don't know, Sumru's starting to end, so we could see a lot of mismatch or random reruns coming very soon, because we do have to prep to go to Fontaine. So I think they want to try to get out as many rerun banners as they possibly can with the big hitter units. They usually save these to the very end, just like how they did Kazuha before Sumeru came out. But as you can see, Nahida is probably going to take one of the spots up with Baizhu, because Baizhu is our new 5-star for 3.6. So that leaves us with 2 more banners. So if we're going to be going with double Sumeru 5 stars as far as we know, and I don't think we have anything leeway Mondstadt or Inazuma centered at the moment for events, because you know Lantern Ride already happened, Wind Bloom already happened. So I might suggest that we might get, you know, multiple Sumeru characters, since we're basically heading to the end of Sumeru, and by the time we, you know, circle back around to go to Fontaine, we might get some Mondstadt units, some leeway units, and some Inazuma units very soon. So I do think with Nahida and Baizhu, you know, double Dendro, one being the Dendro Archon and one being a Dendro, we don't know the role for sure yet. Nilou is a good chance to come, just because it's double Dendro, and since we have double Dendro on the banners, that gets a good spot for Nilou. Now Nilou has, or is a little bit more recent, but she has a longer span that she's been gone than Nahida. So, you know, that is subject to be able to be put on a banner, so that's not bad in all honesty. But we do still have some units that haven't had the chance to be able to be rerun in a while. Klee, Zhongli, Eula, and then what else? Kokomi as well. Those are all characters that haven't been back in a while. They're around the plus 10 banners away from their last rerun. Now Kokomi, that'd be really cool, but again, she's a little bit more recent. 3.0 she came out and she was released, so 3.6, it's a big, you know, difference in time, but it is still a little too early, and especially because characters like Eula, Kazuha, Klee, all these characters haven't been out in a long time, but no one really wants to summon for Klee, and Kazuha's a really big hitter, but I don't think they're gonna leave Kazuha with an Archon, because there's just so much profitability, I guess you could say, in that patch, with Baizhu and Nahida being there most likely for sure, that they're probably going to leave Kazuha for banners near Fontaine's End, like they did last time again with Sumeru, and put maybe another character that isn't going to make that much money, or usually doesn't get a lot of summons, like Yoimiya. So hopefully we'll see, you know, Yoimiya or another character like Klee paired up with Kazuha. That way it's not that hard to summon on either or. So I'm going to assume it's more general Sumeru characters. So Nahida, Nilou, and Baizhu. Now I'm not 100% sure what the last character could be. It's a good chance that either Eula, which that's a very long shot because we are in the Sumeru theme, but Eula literally hasn't been back since forever. Her last release was in 2.3, which is absolutely insane. But if we're gonna be like real with it, having Kokomi would be actually the best possible solution for this overall 4 banner roundup, because Baiju's Dendro, what's it called, Nahida's Dendro, and being one of the best Archon Dendro supports, whatever, and then Nilou needs Hydro and Dendro to work, and then Kokomi could basically round out that spot. You can make a full Hyper Bloom team with, you know, those 4 characters. So I don't know, there's just a lot of characters that haven't been out in a long time. Eula, Kazuha, Zhongli, Klee, all these other characters like, you know, Nilou, Nahida, all of these characters that haven't been out in a while. So yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. A lot of these are very hard hitters, but I don't think they're going to try to rerun every Sumeru character before Sumeru ends out, because that would mean Wander and Alhaitham would have to get a rerun, and they've basically been here way too recently. There's no way they'll rerun them, in my opinion. I do think though that Nahida and Nilou are subject to rerun most likely, just because they're basically in the same time frame, and since Nahida is basically for sure with the 4 Archon rule that has stayed true for so long, having Nilou side by side with Nahida wouldn't be so bad, just because they're best partners. Just like how they put Hu Tao, well, actually that makes a lot of sense. They put Hu Tao and Yalan together. They're both basically generally their best partner, and then they did Ayaka and Shenhe, which technically not their best partner, but they work very good together. So putting Nahida with Nilou, that basically matches the same pattern that I'm talking about. So that actually does make a lot of sense to have Nahida and Nilou, if not Nahida with Kokomi or Nilou with Baizhu, something like that. But it makes sense actually to have Nahida and Nilou right there together. So you could see a Nilou rerun very soon. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Like I said, we do have a lot of hard hitters in this lineup that is going to be coming out for our reruns most likely. I hope everyone wins their 50/50s early, and I hope, you know, hopefully the banners aren't as crazy as I'm making it seem right now, because yeah, we have a lot left over and there's a lot to rerun before the, you know, Fontaine patch comes around. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. See you on the next one, and peace.